June 1944. Somewhere in occupied France, a Nazi supply train, heavy with ammunition and reinforcements, is thundering toward the Pont de la Liberté. Beneath the tracks, Markus and Charles Lefèvre wire explosives to the girders. To ensure the bridge falls, they must hit 3 structural weak points on this schematic. They have under 2 minutes to wire the final charge to this central pillar before the locomotive hits. If the circuit remains open when the train arrives, thousands of German troops will reach the northern front, potentially crushing the Allied advance before it even gains a foothold. Markus and Charles are aging farmers. They are veterans of the Great War trenches, men who thought their fighting days ended decades ago in the mud of Verdun. When the occupation began, they joined other teachers and factory workers in the dense Forêt d'Orléans to form a Maquis Cell. The Maquis are rural guerrilla bands, named after thick Mediterranean scrubland where such groups traditionally hide. The Sten submachine gun was their primary weapon. Stamped from sheet metal and dropped by Allied planes, its jagged 6-pound frame was designed to be produced quickly and hidden easily under a coat. A Maquis Cell operates on a singular advantage. They weaponize their intimate knowledge of the home soil. They use the goat trails and thickets they've known since childhood to move through the woods faster than the German patrols. The plan hinges on a loud diversion at a nearby quarry. While the rest of the cell draws the German guards away with small-scale explosions, the brothers move through the dark to reach the bridge undetected. The plan shatters when a German guard named Hans steps into a riverside outhouse just 15 meters from the final explosive site. Hans Gruber was pulled from his family's vineyard in the Moselle Valley and handed a rifle. He is a boy who hums folk songs to himself in the dark, far more interested in home than the ideology of his superiors. Markus watches from the shadows, weighing the mission against the life of the boy in the outhouse. If he stays hidden, Hans might see the wires. If he moves, he has to kill an unsuspecting teenager in cold blood. In the brutal logic of the occupation, preserving the resistance cell means crossing a line that Markus can never uncross. He draws his knife and creeps toward the wooden door. A muffled gasp in the dark secures the bridge. Markus rejoins his brother, his face a mask of sweat and rainwater, while the perimeter remains silent. The train's whistle shrieks. On the tracks above, German guards begin sweeping their flashlight beams across the wet steel girders, searching for the source of a metallic clang. Charles twists the final detonator wires together. He has seconds to lock the connection as the vibration of the approaching locomotive begins to shake the entire bridge. The brothers throw themselves into the mud of the river embankment. Bullets chip the tree bark over their heads as they reach the clearing, and Charles slams his hand down on the plunger. The blast snaps the main supports. The bridge buckles under the weight of the locomotive, and the entire supply train plunges into the water below. The northern supply line is severed. The brothers return to their camp in the Forêt d'Orléans. They have succeeded, but the memory of the vineyard boy in the outhouse remains with them in the silence of the woods. Inside the command dugout, Suzanne, the cell's medic, adjusts the dial on their only connection to the outside world, a battered, clandestine radio receiver. Through the static, General Charles de Gaulle speaks from London. He announces that the liberation of France has begun and that the internal resistance has already begun to weaken the enemy from within. This transmission confirms the rumors. Allied forces have stormed the beaches at Normandy. The brothers' strike on the bridge was just one small part of a massive, coordinated invasion. The victory is short-lived. Furious German reinforcements begin sweeping the forest, forcing this diverse group of fighters, teachers, farmers, and students, to abandon their sanctuary and flee. Driven south by the Nazi reprisals, they head for the jagged peaks of the Vercors. In this rugged, defensible mountain range, they plan to unite with other cells and declare a sovereign, free republic to challenge the occupation openly. Can Markus and Charles survive the final, brutal Nazi onslaught in the mountains? Experience the full saga of the French resistance in the historical fiction anthology Brothers in Arms. Click the link in the description to find out if the Free Republic can stand.